Slash, your horror movie podcast.
Welcome back, Hack Stab Slash. It's your man Hacky. Over here, that's my man Stabby. Down there looking like a surprised goldfish.
Just Justin, what is up?
How we doing, Hack Stab Slash? This week we're doing Pearl, and Justin's going to tell us all about this movie.
What is up, Hackstab Slash? I'm completely ready for this intro. Subscribe to us, hit all our love buttons, and we'll love you back. And we are heading back to 1918 for Pearl. So you might want to mask up because we got the Spanish influenza going around, and we don't want to get anyone sick. But yeah, let's time travel back 100 years, and we're going to talk about Pearl today.
All right, so before Waterboy dies from the common cold, you want to tell us why you picked this movie?
I had been, seeing this for like the X and Pearl series. Like, I've been seeing it, and people have been saying
I've been seeing it.
Great.
I've been seeing it. I've seen it. I wanted to see it.
I wanted to see it. I was saving it for the pod. I was saving myself, and yeah, let's go ahead and get into this.
Before Justin kicks it off and just whisk us away to the wonderful land of Oz, what's your expectation rating going into this, Waterboy?
Well, my expectation rating was pretty high. I was thinking probably like a 7 or an 8. But
that's exactly what I have written down. I go expectation rating 7.5 or an 8.
Like reading reviews, people ranting and raving over this movie about how amazing it is, and the acting, and well, we'll definitely see.
Justin, what was your expectation rating?
So this is a weird one for me, just because I never saw the trailer ever, and I know nothing about this. I had a few people whose opinion I trust tell me some stuff about it, but besides that, so I didn't even know what this is about. Waterboy just promised me it was a farmhouse slasher, so I was pretty excited. But I don't even know if I can give an expectation because I went in this, I didn't read one thing. I wanted to be so open-minded. Besides, like I said, I heard a few people say stuff, but I didn't even watch the trailer. I just hit play. I had no clue this even took place in 1980. I had no clue, so I don't even know how I'm supposed to even rank it.
It's wild. Yeah, dude, I rated mine a 7.5 or an 8 going into it, just because X had such an outcry of that's an amazing movie. And then when they came out with the prequel for Pearl, I refused to watch. I still haven't watched all of X. I stopped watching it once we decided to start the podcast. And I was like, if these movies are as good as people say they are, I want to go into it fresh. I want to save my virginity just like Waterboy and just attack this head on and come into it with an open mind and just see what it tells me. And we'll get into that.
Yes, we will. And I also just want to mention this month is February. We just came off of January doing our winter horror. So this month we're doing all stories based off some kind of love undertones throughout the story. And Waterboy decided to kick it off with Pearl. So yeah, you guys want to get into this?
Love, love me do. I love you.
All right, let's do this. So let's talk about Pearl, A24 movie directed by Ty West. So we open to a farmhouse. We see Pearl is dancing in her mother's dress. Mother quickly interrupts, tells her to go feed the animals. We see her in the farm talking to the lambs, talking to all the animals. Basically, we find out she's got big dreams. She wants the world to know her. She wants to be a star. She's interrupted by a goose, and she just looks at this goose and is like, "Oh, you?" All of a sudden, we see a pitchfork in her hand. She walks over to this, and we see it stabbed down. Next, she is walking through the woods to a dock, calls over an alligator.
Do you know what that alligator's name is?
Theta or something?
Theta.
And
dude, every time she calls that alligator, all I can think of is Will Ferrell and the other guys.
And we are hit with a Pearl title screen. Just going to say I had no clue even what time period this was going to be, so I had no clue what I was about to watch. But here we are. So we find out that this movie takes place in 1918. It is World War I going on. We see Pearl's dad. He is extremely ill. I'm not 100% sure if they say what it is, but I imagine it'd be the Spanish flu because they show how the flu's going around. We find out that Pearl's husband is serving in World War I, and we see her going into town. She is obsessed with the movies, and she loves dancing. So we see her. She's got to go into town to get her dad's medicine. We see her get some morphine sulfate, I believe it was, and she goes to a movie by herself, and we see her actually take a nice swig of it because why not have a nice some morphine with your movies. And she ends up, as she's leaving, she meets the projectionist. And he basically tells her that she should be a dancer, go for it. They hit it off. They flirt a little bit, talk about it. She loves film, and basically he gives her a little, what is that, like a little piece of film?
Yeah, he cuts out like a real clip.
Real
like
clip. There we go.
Yeah, because she says like she's like, aren't people gonna notice that when they go into the movie? And he's like, they're not gonna notice one frame missing.
That's what it was, a little clip of it. All right, it's time for her to go home. So she rides her bike home. It's going through past a cornfield, and some wind blows her little movie clip away. She goes to look through it in the cornfield. We see a scarecrow. Of course, she climbs up that and music starts playing. She starts dancing with the scarecrow. That she straddles the scarecrow, begins to moan and have sex with this. And
this is Justin. This has to be the scene Waterboy saw when he picked this out as a love horror. Because when she, like you said, when she ventures into the land of Oz to dance with the scarecrow, and by dance, I mean have an affair, because she screams, I'm married at this thing before having an orgasm on it.
Yeah, she goes to town, and already at this point, I'm realizing, what the hell am I watching? Like, it's clearly some like artsy horror movie, which can be very subjective. I was trying to be very patient. I started to curse out Waterboy a little bit at this point, but you know what? It's an artsy horror movie. Maybe it's gonna get a little better. So we see her at home now, and her mom's pissed that why she took so long. And then we see her taking a bath in front of her dad, who she has to watch her dad too. And she's basically staring at him and is like, "Are you still in there?" And she pinches him, and this dude's like not moving. He's like pretty much like almost like just comatose. And then
he's like fully catatonic.
Yeah, like just vegetable state. And then she starts choking him. This is just a wicked, uncomfortable, weird scene. You see them at supper, and her mom won't let her eat. She is pissed because they're like 8 cents short. Mom's wicked strict. They're German we find out they're German immigrant parents. So obviously it's not the most popular thing to be right there. And then the next day we meet Mitzi. It's her sister-in-law, and her husband's name is Howard. So this is Howard's sister. She stops by with her mom, and she wants to check on them and drops them off some food. She gives her a nice pig to eat, and she tells her that there's a dance audition Saturday at the church. But whatever you do, don't tell your mom. Sneak out. Let's go do this, and we're gonna be dancers. So we see Pearl. She sneaks out of the house, and she goes into town, and she meets the projectionist. She basically tells him about the dance audition. He completely encourages her, says, "You got to go." And he says, "You want to see a movie that no one's seen?" And going to kick it off to Sean so we can start talking about what is this movie that no one's ever seen before. What do you guys got? Any thoughts on this first 30 minutes?
So this was a very, very slow burn. And there isn't too much. It's just a lot of dialogue. I mean, there was, of course, the first part when, she kills Mother Goose. But other than that, it's just very, very slow. And I was trying my hardest to try to pay attention. It wasn't keeping my attention at all for this first half hour. I'll say that.
So I went into this, like I said, very open-minded, just like we all do. And I immediately realized that this was not going to be like a crazy love horror slasher, because I had listened to Justin kind of rant and rave before I sat down to watch this too. But I do kind of low-key love the opening credits and the score. The way they write out the credits gave off very heavy, like Little House on the Prairie meets Wizard of Oz. And then I don't know about you guys, but the entire time the score was going on and she kept dancing around and like mumbling and like talking to the farm animals, all I could hear in my head was that Pure Imagination song from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. So I was thoroughly confused as to what I was going to get in for. And then even when she goes to like the movie theater and the name of the film is Palace Follies, and then she drinks the morphine, it's like a very low-key undertone hint at the kind of person she is, because the old-timey slang for follies is lack of good judgment. And it's also commonly used as like a derogatory statement towards women and how they're perceived in that time period. And then, dude, the mom's just a straight-up bitch. Like, no wonder why Pearl becomes a psychopath, dude. If I had to deal with that every single day,
fucking
I think
Mommy
I'd
Dearest.
lose my goddamn mind too. And Justin, don't you wish you had neighbors like that?
Yeah, right, right.
To just drop off an
Just
entire like barbecue
Dude.
roasted rotisserie pig.
That pig looked amazing.
seriously, drop me off some food. Let's go.
Like, dude, we are what 100+ years later, and you have to go to a full blown barbecue and hope you get a good sliver of that pig.
Seriously.
Instead, this lady's just like saying hi to her neighbors, dropping off whole ass pigs.
I'm
I
hungry.
loved it.
Incredible. I just want to say, like, through this movie, like a few of the notes I took, I wrote, is this a horror movie? Is this a drama? Waterboy, seriously? No. It's okay, Justin. This must be a slow burn. You know what? Let's be patient and be with an open mind. I wrote that to myself because I'm not gonna be like at this first 30 minutes, I just didn't care about the story. Like, I hated Pearl. Like, I didn't like her. Like, I didn't get sucked into the story. Something about her annoyed me. I just could care less. But like, the first 30 minutes, I'm like, who am I rooting for? I just did not get sucked into this movie even a little bit for the first 30. But we're gonna talk about this next part, and we'll see if it won me over at all.
I just want to add one more thing. So the way it was shot, like the filmography and like just like how she was even talking, and so I thought for a second that it was going to break out into a musical for a minute, just like how everything was going. And I probably still would have enjoyed that musical better than what they actually gave us.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I completely agree with you, Justin. I think right up until she feeds the goose to the gator, I was like, all right, I'm into this. Like she's like a backdoor slasher type villain. Like put on the happy face, and behind closed doors, dude, she's a fucking psycho. Yep. And then it lost me. I get you have to establish a character and a narrative, but where this is a prequel, you should have already done that in X. So why do we have 20 minutes of her getting to know the projectionist and floating around town and establishing she's got a husband and a crazy mother and a wonderful mother-in-law who cooks whole pigs? This is horror. I mean, I get what Ty West was going for. I really do, but we're going to keep going.
Keep going. Let's go. All right. Take it away, Sean.
All right, dude. So now that Justin has let me start my part on a silent pornography film, not just any porn though, but a threesome, and that's fucking wild for 1918. I mean, I get it. 2024 is right now, and a threesome is like, I don't know, having toast and tea for breakfast. But back then, dude, that was like some raunchy shit, and it was silent porn. You had to put in the cue cards with the words that said like, "Ooh, give it to me, daddy."
Oh my god,
you like that?
But
shit.
The projectionist continues to tell Pearl that he's basically just going to start running an adult theater because this is the future. And low-key hints, guys, he is the founder of Pornhub. I didn't know if you knew that. But Pearl returns home, and she hears her mother crying herself to sleep. And you can immediately tell that they have a very strained relationship. And this is all you need to tell that they're strained, is she looks at her mother crying and completely ignores her and just goes to sleep. We don't need 45 minutes of them arguing. Next morning, Pearl wheels her daddy out to see Theta the gator. Ruth's mom shows up just in time, though, before Pearl can give her daddy a mercy killing. On the way back to the house, though, Pearl comes across a ton of Theta's eggs. So she takes one for herself and puts it in the barn. I'm thinking she's going to nurture this egg and she's going to love it and she's going to try and hatch it because you can tell Pearl needs something like that, but she doesn't. She gets this weird fucking urge and she crushes it in her bare hands, all while she's having like some kind of hallucination or imagination of her husband getting home from the war. And just as she crushes this egg in her hand, he fucking explodes in her imagination. I thought that was mint. I love that
cool.
part.
That was a good shot.
Pearl tells her mom to stay in. Pearl tells her mom to go fuck herself. But mom tells Pearl now to stay in the bunkhouse because she knows what she's been doing and she doesn't want her to bring the sick back to the house and get all of them sick when they're being cautious and Pearl is being so careless by going to the movies. They have a heated argument because Pearl wants to go to the audition and her mother basically tells her, "You're never leaving the farm again. You're not going to this audition. And if you do go to the audition, you're going to fail because that's what failures do." Then they immediately start a slapboxing competition that sets the mom's ass on fire. No worries, though. Pearl puts her out with a hot pot of water, then drags her ass into the basement. Nobody tells Pearl what to do. Pearl doesn't even know what to do herself. So she takes off running to the movie theater. Pearl has a vivid hallucination once she gets there that she's the star of the film, but her husband, her dad, and her brutalized mother are all in the audience. She wakes up from this weird ass dream now, and she shows us that she's committed some adulterous behavior with the projectionist. He then drives her home like the swell guy he is, with his arm around her the whole time, stating that she's his lady. When they get there, she has him wait outside while Pearl goes inside and hastily cleans up the mess, and her father too, but not before doping him up on some more morphine. He puts out a cigarette while looking at the maggot-covered pig. They now head up to her bedroom for some coitus. Her new lover hears a noise and heads downstairs to check it out because he's a big burly man and he needs to protect his new lady. Pearl then blames the dog and says she had to put the dog in the basement, and then runs Johnny outside to meet the barn animals. He asks, "What's the dog's name?" And she says they don't have a dog. And things get real awkward real fast. Pearl starts losing her fucking mind when Johnny tries to leave. He turns around, and just as he's leaving and like makes his way to his car, she does her best to give him one last fork. You know, nothing like a good forking for the road. This was brutal. She even stomps the fork through the back of his throat. Not just like any stomp, though, like a hard stomp. Like when you're digging a hole and your shovel gets stuck on a tree root and you
hit a
fucking
root.
take that bitch to go through the root.
Gosh.
She was not messing around. Pearl now goes back inside to, you know, just kick her mother down the stairs and give her daddy a bath, because that's what good daughters do. The whole family is dressed to kill now. They're dressed to the nines. She got a beautiful red dress on. Daddy's in a suit. Pearl kisses her daddy and then gives him the mercy killing that she's been trying to give him the whole movie. She heads back into town, but not before feeding Johnny the Protectionist to Theta the Gator. Pearl now meets up with Misty in town for their auditions. Misty chickens out and makes Pearl go in first for the audition. Pearl heads inside and begins strutting with confidence in every locomotive way that you can in the 1918s that would make Waterboy's calf muscles look like they're fully flexed and glistening in sweat going up a nice flight of stairs.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that layup with my calves.
That was good.
Only calves coming soon.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Senseless plug, you know.
Senseless plug.
Oh, only calves.
How we doing, fellas? How we digging the movie so far?
Still slow burn, sort of. Then to some crazy shit with the, I don't even know where the fuck that came from. Pitchfork stabbing, but clearly she is definitely psychotic. We already saw that with the Mother Goose. I still don't even know what to think, what's going on here. It kept my focus for a little bit, but I'm still wanting more. Like, we're like almost done with this movie and we've gotten a pitchfork kill and a goose kill and like a senseless mother kill that happened because of a fight.
So like, you want more pitchfork? You're saying you want more pitchfork?
More pitchfork,
people
bro.
Want more cowbell? You want
more cowbell?
Yeah,
dude. I don't know about you guys, but in the 35 minutes that I just read through in the movie, there's a good 10 minutes from when the mother's ass gets set on fire to her feeding Johnny to the gators. If we could keep that pace through the movie, it's so much better. We could eliminate a lot of dialogue and turn this movie from, what was it, an hour and 45 minutes and trim it down to an hour and 20, and it would fucking slap.
This is like Smile. Like how much like senseless fucking shit they pushed into this movie and just left a couple parts that are like horror.
Yeah. But and I fully get it, because this is, like I said to Justin at work, this tends to fall into that elevated horror. And elevated horror, I think, relies a lot on heavy character building, heavy dialogue, trying to, if you can sit there and fully focus on the movie, trying to rope you into the movie, trying to suck you in like you're reading a book, but it's on the screen. And it's just, I think that doesn't belong in horror. That's just me, though.
That's
Well,
me
it's,
too.
yeah, like if you get like, yeah, it relies on being sucked into the atmospheric elements of it. And I've seen like a movie like I'm obsessed with is It Follows, and I've seen some people say they don't like It Follows at all. Like I've seen that one be divided, and that movie like I get so sucked into that. I love it so much. But this movie, even still now, this felt more like a slow descent into insanity, like case study, like a drama.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was like a
Um,
Lifetime movie.
and I just don't love dramas. I don't love like 1918 dramas. So even throughout this, like you said, there was a few parts that are cool, but it was so dragging to get to that. Like I felt like this movie had like 25 minutes of just unnecessary, like slow crap they could have taken out of. And that's all
Oh,
I was gonna
easily,
say.
easily could have taken all that crap out. And just
Yeah.
like you said, It Follows, where a lot of people think that movie drags out. Guys, I was one of them. I will raise my hand. Talking about that movie and breaking it down and how extreme that movie can get and the different points of view. I changed my rating fucking mid episode with you guys.
Yep.
But all right, Waterboy,
Take us home.
yeah, get on that treadmill and let's go.
All right. So she starts walking out on stage like, yeah, I'm about to own this shit.
End
she
credits. All right, see you next week.
All right. Bride of Chucky.
Starts the routine with which transitions into an all-out dance spectacle in her mind with the war and extra dancers joining in, and even throws a few kisses to the crowd after, and while still in the Creed arms wide open pose, she gets a hard no from the judges. Looking for somebody.
Pardon
they're
me.
looking for some they're looking for somebody younger, blonde with that X factor. Initiate freakout mode level, telling your kids no that they can't have that. We arrive back home with Mitzi, and that pig is still there sitting outside, pretty pissed off. Mitzi trying to comfort her about it only being a church group. Mitzi asks her just to let out what's troubling her with Howard, and just to, if she never told him what's going on with her. Cue the longest still shot of an explanation over psychotic and murderous tendencies ever that surpasses any scientific subject that you will ever listen to explaining. And then even admitting
Justin, Waterboy's going to go through this word by word. So if you need to pee, now's the time.
Yeah, I should do that scene. I would kept saying, will you someone interrupt her? For the love of God, say something. Nobody talks that long in a row without being interrupted.
No.
I was like,
just get up and run away, please.
Dude, I found myself staring at the ceiling. I'd rather watch paint dry. I hated that monologue so much.
It was so bad.
Oh, God.
Even
I'm just saying,
that
it was at this point in the movie I ordered DoorDash.
Oh.
And it still got there before she finished talking. Even admitting that she had been pregnant and was happy that the baby had died. Mitzi's like,
I missed that.
I gotta go. Mama wants me home. Are you frightening me? You think I'm sick? Pearl admits that she's happy for that.
Get the rest of your recap in that voice.
Mitzi tries denying that she didn't get the part, and with a little bit of comfort from Pearl, she then admits that she didn't get the part, and it's going to be a swell and it's going to be pretty swell dancing around the state. And she wants to know if she's welcome to come. She'd like to have her there. Pearl saying she always gets whatever she wants, more younger and blonde, and asks if she's not going to say anything, is she? Mitzi walks out with a sigh of relief, which is short-lived because Pearl comes outside and grabs that damn axe and starts leisurely going towards her. And then with 3 whacks in the back, Mitzi, she goes there and says, not about what I want anymore, Mitzi. It's about using the best of what I have. Then we get back home into the basement. She puts her mama's arms around her as we hear a German lullaby over some crazy scenes as she begins to dismember Mitzi and feed it to the gator. They even seeing her head in the gator's mouth. Table set, though. She brings her dead mom and her dead dad to the table and not letting that rotten pig go to waste. We get a cut to Howard getting off that truck there, finally getting home from the war. Howard walks in and sees the place with their parents and, Pearl saying, Howard, I'm so happy you're home, with a smile, which transitions to a crazy smile and a psychotic smile that goes on for 2 minutes before the credits fade to black. What the hell?
Wow.
I'm just saying that smile at the end, that was impressive.
That was.
That
I gotta
the
admit.
slow, like happier home into just full descent into fucking madness. That was
Complete
impressive.
madness.
That shows that wow.
Acting.
Yeah. That
Dude,
wasn't just a fake smile that crushed it.
She just kept smiling, and he like didn't stop recording that. Do you
Yeah.
read that? She just like smiled for like, I forget, it was like a minute and 38 seconds of insanity or something. She literally just kept on holding it, and they just kept
The
recording
tears
it.
were real. Like
Those
Yeah.
those tears were from
her,
holding
like
that
cheeks
position.
starting to hurt.
Yeah. Fucking wild. Oh yeah, why is
347-203.
Yeah.
right,
on the bottom corner of each of our pitches, it's got our names. And Justin's just a 347-203.
He's just another number.
just a number? I'm easily irreplaceable. All right, so yeah, I didn't like this movie. It was slow. I thought it was straight up boring at times. I thought Mia Goth had a solid performance. I just felt like this was like more, like I said, or just a drama, like with some horror elements, and I thought it was visually beautiful shot. I applaud Ty West for something bold and taking a big risk. It's different. It's always good to take risks. You don't always have the same kind of movies. And so I guess I could get how some people could like this movie. At least in the third act, some shit finally happened. But it wasn't for me. I tried being open-minded. I really did. Well, I didn't even know, but I just didn't like it. I didn't like the characters. I didn't really care about anything that's going on. I didn't love all the dialogue. This movie did not suck me into its atmosphere. I did not like it. So yeah, that's what I got. I tried.
I mean, I'll piggyback off that same thing about the filmography and like just the scenery and just how everything was shot. Excellent job there. The dialogue, just dialogue after it's very boring. I mean, yeah, a lot of people do like this type of movie. It's one of those movies that like a horror movies, we never really get like awards and stuff like that. But I could see this one getting an award for this type of thing just because it isn't a typical horror movie. Even with psychological horror, this doesn't even scratch the surface of like how boring this was to me. This is just
awful.
I never want to watch this again, and I'm not even sure if I want to watch scratch it. I don't want to watch the other two movies at all.
Really?
After seeing this, I don't think I want to give it a chance because I felt like I wasted an hour and 47 minutes for a dismemberment scene that lasted 5 seconds, and it was just I can't.
Just on some scene by scene, I'd almost feel bad for like Pearl's heartbreak at the end of the audition, but she's fucking nuts. And do you guys feel like where the judge says they want someone blonde and more American, when she asked why she didn't get picked, do you think it would have had like a different effect on the movie had Misty not like pussied out and swapped places with her and gone in first and gotten a part and Pearl never really had to audition? Do you think like her crazy fucking let me murder everyone I love like would have escalated the way it did, or do you think it would have turned out differently?
I think it would have escalated. I think it probably would have escalated more, knowing that she got the part right before she even went in. Yeah. She would have probably killed Mitzi right there.
I was gonna say she probably would have just killed that one right there.
That's what I mean. Like, do you think it would have turned out differently? Like,
yeah, it probably would have been some same kind of insanity. It just would have probably just been a different place.
That would have been even better if she would have went in first, got the part, she came out, got it. Something cracked in her head. She started going freaking crazy.
Killed everyone
and went on
right
a killing spree right there,
chopping everyone up right there.
The judges and everybody. Yeah,
we could have moved that if that is how it turned out. We could have moved that scene 20 minutes earlier and then just had an extra 35 minutes of her going nuts on the entire town.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if you guys felt this way or if you found it in fun facts, because I actually did not look up fun facts because I was slacking. I felt like through this whole movie, that roasted pig, the more and more her mental health decayed, the more and more that pig decayed. I don't know if that was some kind of symbolism, but I love it.
I do think, because that would definitely be Ty West's like trying to hint at that because you would keep seeing the shots of the pig.
Yeah.
So it's
And that kind of mirrors what I said, how this felt like just more of a like case study drama of like a slow descent into insanity. So
Yeah.
I definitely, yeah.
All right, I'll jump right into my rating.
Oh yeah, I think
Um,
go ahead.
This was not at all what I was signing up for to watch, Waterboy. This was a very strange way of showing a slow descent into madness, but all the signs were there from the jump. They were very well hidden. Something as small as like the abuse and the strain from her parents between her mother and having to take care of her father, the killing of small animals to help her feel something, the faking of happy emotions at a second's notice. This movie was like one of a kind that I've seen anyways. And I think we could both agree that I was expecting a Love-esque horror movie with a serial killer. And instead I got a movie about a girl who's on the edge of a psychotic break that just wants to be loved. This movie met my expectation rating, but in a completely different way. I'd give it a solid 7. But if I would have rated off of what I thought I was going in to watch, I'd give it like a 4, maybe a 4.5. But Mia Goth absolutely takes the role of Pearl to a place that not many actors and actresses can go to. I think she crushed it. I think everything around this movie was great. The way they chose like the font for the credits, the opening scenes, the way it was shot, the way it was set, the way they used the dialogue, all that stuff was great. The scores, the acting, the whole 9 yards. I'm actually looking forward to seeing the rest of these movies. Maxine, Last Night in Soho. Maybe I'll make you guys watch it. Maybe I won't. But like I said, I have 2 ratings. 4.5 is what I thought I was for a movie that I thought I was going to watch, and a 7 for what I actually watched.
All right.
Well, I'm going to give this movie a solid 2.7.
Did we just become best friends? Justin, you got a 2.7, don't you?
I'll let him continue.
I don't ever want to be put through this again. I think me picking this movie and then me having to watch it is, I think, getting myself back for having put you guys through movies that I liked and that you guys completely hated. No words can describe. I award 0 points, and may God have mercy on this movie soul.
He's so trying. He literally looks like he's just gonna log off. All right, so I originally had a 2.7, but I raised it up to a 3.7 just for like the creativity and the boldness of the visualness, like how it was shot and just the big risk he took. But nothing in this movie worked for me. I just don't think it was even interesting. Like a Pearl, like I care less about her. I never want to see that character ever again. Nothing in this movie. Like I get like the bold choice and stuff, and it's really cool. And I could see how people could fall into this atmosphere, but I didn't care about her. Didn't care about any single thing in this movie. Nothing in this movie worked for me. Like I've never cared about a main character less in my whole entire life. So I give this a 3.7.
And I rented this movie so that I could watch it on the TV with the wife, and I'm actually writing a complaint so that I can try to get my $7 back.
I actually, when Justin gave me money to send to you for like the Zoom meetings, he literally goes, and I bet you Waterboy is not going to give me my fucking money back for having to rent this goddamn movie.
So yeah.
Oh god.
But Justin, dude, I completely piggyback off that. I don't give a fuck about any of these characters.
Yeah, it's just like
I said, my 4.5 rating is what I thought Waterboy was giving us to watch.
Yeah.
My 7 was, all right, I sat down, I cooled off, and then I watched it for what it was. And I tried to grade it off the acting, the scores, the film, like all that stuff. That's why I gave it a 7. But in my heart, 4.5, because I thought I was getting something.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. I was surprised you gave it a 7. And that's the thing, like, I get horror so subjective. So if like I met a horror fan and they're like, I like Pearl, I'd be like, oh, that's cool. Like that's like everyone likes.
I also don't have ADHD, DHD,
yeah,
like you guys do. So I think I could sit down and tolerate a slow burn a little more than you guys.
And don't get me wrong, I've watched slow burns that I have liked because I've been actually like intrigued, even though sometimes they frustrate me. I'm like, oh, I get to the point, but I
You got one in your hood right there. That's the fucking king of slow burns. Other
wrong.
side. Yeah.
Have him say a word. Hello, Clarice. Sorry. All right, what the hell's happening? All right, yeah. All right, let them know. All right, let them know what we're doing next week.
Next week, Hackstab Slash, we are following it up with another movie that will be released on our 1 year anniversary. So happy anniversary, gentlemen. We are watching a Justin film, and Justin probably has no idea what he picked. So he's panicking right now because I'm going to make him tell us. But while he's looking up a movie, please give us like a 5-star rating and help us grow a show. Not in that way. I'm not trying to be, sexual with it, but if you could toss that D in the subscribe on YouTube, that would be fantastic. If you listen on Apple, Spotify, anything like that, I said, just drop a review, help us grow the show. That would mean the world to us. We love hanging out with you guys each and every week. I'm starting to run out of shit to say, so, come chat with us on Facebook, Twitter, X, whatever the hell it's called. I do this every episode. Instagram, Threads, TikTok. I'm running out of stuff. Justin, help me out, brother.
All right, all right, guys, pick a number. Pick a number between 1 and 3.
2.
Oh shit, that's only the number, isn't it? Oh my god. Oh god, all right. Number 2 on my list is
Please say it's The Evil Dead.
I'm such an idiot. I didn't mean to say it like that.
Return of the Living Dead 3?
No, Jennifer's Body. So I wrote Bloody Valentine. All right, so my 3 movies were My Bloody Valentine, Jennifer's Body,
3.
and Return of the Living Dead 3. But I just realized I said pick one between 1 and 3, and as you can see, Jennifer's Body is number 2. So we're watching Jennifer's Body. Okay, you heard it here first. Oh, what's happening? Bye. What do you do? Oh, he's pearling us. Oh, pearling us. Don't pearl us. Okay.
That sounded so sexual.
Please cut all this.
I'm leaving it in.
Justin likes a pearl necklace.
Please, no. That's just disgusting.